There's a lot of parts of business, and a big part of being successful at work is having the ability to manage your mind.
You're listening to Prospecting on Purpose, where we discuss all things prospecting, sales, business, and mindset. I'm your host, Sara Murray, a sales champion who's here to show you that you can be a shark in business and still lead with intentionality and authenticity. Tune in each week as we dive into methods to connect with clients, communicate with confidence, and close the deal.
Welcome to Prospecting on Purpose. For today's episode, I want to talk about meditation, and I want to encourage you to listen to this episode whether you meditate or not. I'm not going to spend much time on the benefits, which is the why, because I feel like we all hear about meditation and why we should all be doing it. There's many messages out there on the benefits of meditation. I think we all get that. I'd like to share more specific techniques to the how to do it if you don't know where to start. In my experience, I found that people fall into one of three buckets. Bucket one people are the resistors. They don't do it or they won't do it. And I'm just going to gently call out some limiting beliefs. They're very common, such as my brain doesn't work that way, or I watch TV and that's my form of meditation, or I don't have time, or I have too many thoughts. My brain is always spinning. I can't turn it off. I'm sure some of these are sounding familiar. I have said them all too, but I'm going to speak to a couple of them now. First, watching TV is not meditation. It's a distraction. I'm not saying don't do that. I love TV. Give me a TV show I've seen multiple times and some Candy Crush on my iPhone, and I am a happy camper. I actually saw a meme the other day that said, another day of staring at the big screen while scrolling through my little screen as to reward myself for staring at the medium screen all week, which is funny, but also disturbingly accurate. Watching and scrolling on screens is not meditation. It's zoning out. Not saying don't do that, but the benefits of meditation aren't happening from zoning out on our screens. When people say that they can't turn their brains off, it's literally the entire point of meditating. It helps you turn off your brain. It helps you turn off your brain and give it some rest to make space for other things to come in. So if this is you, don't worry. We're going to talk about how to do it in a really easy way, which leads me to my bucket two folks. I'm going to call the bucket two people the cautiously curious. I think there are a lot of people out there who want to meditate and they're interested in trying it and they know that they'll benefit from it. We all hear this all the time, but they just don't know where to start. And then the third bucket of people are the meditators, and they get it and it brings them joy and peace in their lives. Hello to you, fellow meditators. I think there's still going to be some new takeaways for you in this episode as well. So I'm bringing these three groups up at the very beginning of the episode because it's designed to speak to group 1 and 2. I just wanted to address the objections up front. So please listen, even if you're resistant to it. If you try some of these tips I'm going to share, you may just see some small tweaks and small changes that hopefully serve you in your mindset and how you approach your life. For this episode, a quick structure, I'm going to hit on the overall benefits as just a refresher, and then we're going to get into some easy entry-level techniques to start incorporating meditation into your life. And I'm going to save some of the big transformations that I've personally experienced and how it has impacted me and in my work and how I'm showing up in life and how I think it would benefit our audience. This is serving as an introduction to meditation, so we're going to keep it focused on getting you excited about trying it. First, I will address the why. One of the biggest benefits of meditation is your ability to reduce stress. Regular meditation can calm the mind, relax the body, and promote inner peace. Meditation can also enhance mental clarity, increase concentration. It helps reduce mental clutter and distractions. It's going to lead to better decision-making and increased productivity. Regular meditation contributes to overall emotional well-being. It helps us develop healthier relationships with our thoughts and our emotions. It allows for greater self-awareness and the ability to observe emotions without being overwhelmed by them. And then, of course, we know there's significant health benefits. It lowers our blood pressure. It reduces the risk of heart disease. And then, of course, it promotes relaxation, which aids in sleep quality and boosting our immune system. Why I like it the most is that it really provides me an opportunity for self-reflection and self-awareness that leads to personal growth, self-acceptance, and a greater understanding of our purpose in life. Okay, so we have this magical thing out here that improves our lives in so many different ways. Why are we not all doing it? I have a really simple theory, and I'm going to explain it by starting with a weird analogy, but stay with me. In my life, I have always assumed that I didn't like country music, but really, I just never actively listened to it because I didn't know where to start. I didn't know any country artists. I didn't know what type of country music I liked. So, probably about 10 years ago, my friend introduced me to Florida Georgia Line, which is such a low barrier to entry in country music. It's like pop country if you don't know them. The first song I heard, they did a collaboration with Nelly, who's a rapper, and I loved him. So it was just a really nice segue, nice little gateway into country music. And then, of course, now with Spotify, I'm able to discover all types of country artists that I love. But I don't think I would have intentionally started listening to country music without that first gateway. So for the bucket one and the bucket two people, I want to be the Florida Georgia Line to your meditation practice and give this low barrier to entry to meditation. Quick story about how I got into meditating. Every January, I do a dry January, which is where you abstain from alcohol for the month. It's a nice little reset for holiday parties, and it helps me jumpstart on the goals in the new year. And January 2020 was no different. Although, had I known that we were going to go into lockdown 2 months later, I may have skipped dry January 2020, but that's how things go. And this January, I happened to live about 2 blocks away from a meditation studio. So I bought a membership, and at the end of my workday, instead of pouring a glass of wine, I would attend meditation classes. And it was lovely. It was a great way to distract myself from the wine cravings, fill the evenings, and get out of the house and do something nice for myself. And then, of course, we all know what happens. Middle of March, United States, our city went into lockdown. We were all told to stay at home. The lockdown in Los Angeles was particularly strict. So I'm alone in my apartment. Clearly, I'm a very social person. I immediately filled up my weekly calendar with different little Zoom groups, and that's a whole different episode. But one of my groups was a Wednesday night meditation group. My friend Beth had started a program to become a certified meditation instructor. She's fabulous. And she hosted 12 weeks every Wednesday at 7 p.m. I would get on a call with 5 other people, and we'd do a check-in. We'd turn off our cameras. We'd get comfy for a 15-minute meditation. Beth was amazing. You could really zonk yourself out. And then afterwards, we'd turn our cameras back on and share what came up during the session. If you wanted to, you didn't have to. From start to finish, the Wednesday night time commitment was 30, 45 minutes. And it was such an enjoyable way to spend an evening under lockdown orders that all 6 of us renewed for another 12 weeks. So for 24 weeks, I meditated with 5 other people I didn't know very well. And now we're all buds. Looking back on those 2 things, between the in-person meditation studio and exploring different types of meditations that I would have never been introduced to otherwise, and then building that habit, it ended up being a really nice support system to me during the pandemic. Looking back on those 2 things, I don't know if meditation would actually be a part of my life today. So I'm grateful that I found it because it has completely elevated my life. And that's what I would love for you to experience if you are in the bucket 1 or the bucket 2 group. Getting into the tactical, this would be my suggestion, my tips on how to meditate for beginners. From a logistical standpoint, I would just suggest you use a guided meditation on your phone. There are many apps. Headspace, Calm, Insight Timer, and Mind Valley are all meditation apps. There are also a ton of meditation videos on YouTube. So if you want to explore without an app and just listen to one on YouTube, that's super easy too. My personal favorite is Insight Timer. That's the one I use, but they're all great. So the first tip that I want to give us is that it's called meditation practicing because you're just practicing. Sometimes it'll be awesome. You'll have this deeply transformative experience. And then other times you have a bug bite on your leg and you can't focus on anything else besides wanting to scratch your bug bite, which happened to me today. And I stopped meditating. I couldn't get into it. It wasn't going to happen right then. And it's no big deal. And I moved on because it's just practice. This mindset shift helped me because it took the pressure off of doing it. We don't have to be perfect at this. There's literally no right or wrong. And that's just the point. So the first tip is to just think of it as practice. My second tip in removing any type of fear or reservation is that you can literally just lay down. It's so easy. You don't have to sit up on a cushion. You can do all of this in your bed or on a yoga mat or outside on your sectional in the yard where you could get bit by bugs. But you just lie there and you close your eyes. It's easy, it's lovely. So I suggest you set your alarm 20 minutes earlier than you normally wake up. And then when that alarm goes off, you snap into what I call RPM. This stands for Rise, P, Meditate. In the apps, you can search for a morning meditation. There are ones specifically designed around visualizing a perfect day. Another easy morning meditation is to listen to affirmations. There are affirmations for every area of your life: health and happiness, confidence, relationships. Choose something that resonates with you and ideally aligns with your goals or your desires or certain areas of personal growth. Obviously, gratitude meditations are a really easy one to start with. They're really nice entry level. Tony Robbins has a YouTube video that's 14 minutes, and I just type in Tony Robbins morning ritual, no ads. And it's great. It's the first one that pops up. You do some rapid breathing. It kind of wakes you up. You think of 3 things you're grateful for and 3 things you want to invite into your life. All of this, very lovely, very easy way to start your day. It's so enjoyable. And if you fall back to sleep, it's not a problem. We just let those words penetrate our subconscious mind and we feel more productive instead of hitting snooze on repeat. The third tip, and it's in the same thread of just lying there, the easiest type of meditation, in my opinion, is a style called Yoga Nidra, Nidra. You can do this in the morning. You can do it to fall asleep. I like to use Yoga Nidra if I'm tired and I just need a little boost. I would do this instead of a nap. I also listen to Yoga Nidra on planes because it helps me stay balanced and helps me kind of calm down. Yoga Nidra is a style derived from the ancient Indian yogic tradition. It's a systematic method of inducing complete physical, mental, and emotional relaxation in your body while remaining awake and aware. And it's so great for beginner meditators because it's very straightforward. It's not weird. There's no woo-woo happening, but you're going to feel so great afterwards. The practice begins with a body scan where the instructor is going to just direct your attention to different parts of your body. And sometimes you may visualize a little point of light that moves to these different parts of the body. It will usually start with different parts of your face. So focus on your nose, your left eye, your right eye. Then, you move from your face down to your right shoulder, your right elbow, your right wrist, right thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, back of the hand, palm of the hand, right? So it's going to go through your entire body like this. But what's crazy about it is it does really focus your attention away from the running thoughts in your mind, and you can feel your body falling asleep. It's hard to explain, but I can always feel when we do the right side first, I can always feel the right side is a little bit more heavy and a little bit more relaxed before we get into the left side. The aim of this is to just reach a state of conscious relaxation. So the body is at rest and the mind is in a state of receiving. I think it is great. It is the easiest, perfect starting point. If I'm doing it during the daytime, I will sometimes include headphones and a sleep mask just to kind of really envelope you in that cocoon of rest. And then I am going to switch gears to some of the woo-woo weird ones because they're so much fun. The weirder, the better for me, because you're so focused on listening and following directions and visualizing this secret door that is so ornate and made out of whatever your favorite material is. And then that leads to a garden and there's bees and butterflies. And it's really a nice welcomed distraction, because what you're doing is you're letting your mind be free of all the junk and the clutter and the stimulation that's just in our face all day. And then you just get to focus on whatever the person's saying to you. I'm going to link my favorite woo-woo meditation in the show notes. It's a YouTube link, so hopefully it's accessible to everyone. This particular instructor's name is Kenneth Soares, Soares. He has affirmations. He has 2-hour-long deep sleep ones where you start to visualize your eyes as melting ice cubes. It sounds weird out of context, but when you're trying to fall asleep, it's pretty nice. And then for some more intentional time, where you're not trying to fall asleep. He has some that are 10 to 30 minutes long and they're a little bit more out there. I'm going to link my favorite in the show notes. It's a 25-minute practice called Soul Energy Alignment. And I'm going to stop there in terms of techniques and tips for our introduction to meditation. There are so many different styles out there, from chanting to breath work. You may have heard of the Wim Hof method, WIMHOF. There are so many different ways to drop into yourself and connect with yourself. So these are just some suggestions if you fall into that bucket 1, bucket 2 category. If you want somewhere to start, I wanted to give an anchor to start. So just to recap, we all understand this is practice. It's something that should be enjoyable and fun and wonderful. You literally just lie there. So we're already doing that on our phones, playing Candy Crush. Maybe we just stop 20 minutes early and try this out, because in 20 minutes you could do something wonderful and kind for yourself. And I do believe yoga nidra is one of the best starting points. I will share more specific takeaways on future episodes about how meditation has impacted and elevated my life. But at a high level, when I made space to be quiet and spend time with myself, all of a sudden I had so many ideas and solutions to problems I was dealing with, and almost like advice from my higher self, where I already knew the answer. I just needed to be quiet so that I could hear it come through a little bit clearer. It felt like everything was allowed to enter my mind because I intentionally made space in my brain. And it drastically has changed the relationship I have with myself. I'm a better communicator, both internally and externally. My inner dialogue has greatly improved. I'm more present when I'm speaking to others, and that's made me a better listener and a better resource for my friends and family and clients. I now navigate my feelings like a champion because I have the tools to feel and release those emotions that aren't serving me. I don't take things as personally as I used to. I'm better at setting boundaries, and I don't have any guilt for setting them. I'm not stressing about the past or worrying about the future because my mind is strong and I have a better handle at what's cycling through it. If we can master this, our lives are going to just quantum leap to the next version of ourselves. It has changed my life. I'm so lucky that I have this gift that gets to be with me for the rest of my life. And I would love for each of you to experience this too if you haven't explored meditation. This is the ultimate form of self-care, and it's as easy as waking up 20 minutes earlier and still laying in your bed. So in closing, I hope some of these have helped you. I really hope you try them. If you do try them, please let me know. I would love the feedback, and share this episode with someone you think would benefit, especially our friends in bucket 1 and bucket 2. I am confident that the return on investment in you spending 20 minutes meditating a couple times a week is going to pay off in dividends. And I appreciate you listening to it. I think that there's a lot of parts of business, and a big part of being successful at work is having the ability to manage your mind. And if we can do that, we're just going to keep leveling up. And in closing, I just want to thank you for your time. If you are listening to this in real time, this is a reminder that Friday, July 14th at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, I'm hosting a free live event on Zoom. It's called Prospecting on Purpose Live. You can register for that at connect.saramurray.com/pop, P-O-P. I'll include it in the show notes. The event will be 60 minutes long, and we're going to get into how the Prospecting on Purpose framework is going to teach you how to communicate with others in a way that builds trust, leads to business without feeling salesy, and creates this foundation for long-term relationships that result in loyal repeat business. So in our hour together, our key takeaways are going to be: discover the 3 steps to connect with any prospect, even if you're an introvert. Unlock your individual differentiators and your personal brand identity and how it applies to your business efforts. We're going to learn how to make deposits into someone's emotional bank account to create meaningful rapport, making it easier to ask for meetings or closing sales. And then we're going to build a personalized one-page cheat sheet throughout the workshop, capturing the components of your authentic seller persona. So hang it on the wall of your office as a powerful reminder of your unique capabilities in life and business. It will be so fun. It's jam-packed with value, and it's free. So come spend Friday with me in real time. I would love to have you on. Again, it's July 14th at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. The website to register is connect.saramurray.com. Thank you for listening. Happy meditating, and I will see you next week with a super fun guest.
Thank you so much for listening to the Prospecting on Purpose podcast. If you loved what you heard today, subscribe to the podcast and please rate and leave a review. For more info on me, or if you'd like to work together, feel free to go to my website, saramurray.com. On social media, I'm usually hanging out at Sara Murray Sales. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.